A frosty day at the White House as President Obama gets ready to send his new budget to Congress, where it'll likely receive a frosty reception.
We are paying the price.
In 2009, a newly installed President Obama promised to cut the U.S. budget deficit in half. 3 years later, the record shows he didn't even come close. It's above $1 trillion for the fourth year in a row. On Monday, Obama's thought to be about to promise to trim $4 trillion off the deficit over the next 10 years. And similar to last year's budget, he's expected to propose a minimum tax rate of 30% for millionaires and an end to the tax cuts for the wealthy put in place by his predecessor, George W. Bush.
For every dollar of revenue, there's $2.50 of spending reductions. So I think it's clearly not the case that this is a budget that's based on just raising taxes. But we have tax cuts that go to people who don't need them. We have tax cuts going to the wealthiest people in America who are going to have to pay their fair share.
Obama's budget stands little chance of making it unscathed through a deeply divided Congress in an election year and with the Republicans seeking ever deeper cuts in government programs.
No, you know, last year I had to offer his budget for him. Senate Democrats haven't passed a budget in 1,000 days, even though the law requires it.
As the race for the White House heats up, Obama's strategy appears to be shaping up to be job creation paid for by taxing the well-off versus deep spending cuts, which are at the heart of the Republicans' economic program. In other words, rebuilding versus austerity, like they have in Europe right now. Look for budget language that reinforces Obama's message, particularly as much of what he proposes is unlikely to be actually enacted anyway. Terrett, Al Jazeera, Washington.